This is Tusculum College football, and this is the Jerry Odom Show. The Jerry Odom Show is brought to you in part by your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1947. Sodexo, proud food supplier of Tusculum College. By Creekside Markets, stop in and pick up a Hunt Brothers pizza today. By Premier Transportation, the official bus provider for Tusculum College Athletics. And brought to you in part by Comcast. The Jerry Odom Show begins now. Tusculum Pioneers and the Catawba Indians would meet for the 22nd time, the third time, Tusculum versus Catawba for homecoming at Tusculum. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Stayton for the Jerry Odom Show, to be joined by Pioneer head coach Jerry Odom. Pioneers coming off a double overtime win against the Newberry Wolves. Catawba was coming in after a heartbreaking loss to frontrunner in the South Atlantic Conference, Wingate, 27-24. Usually that spells bad news for the Pioneers because Catawba, after a loss when they had played Tusculum, have tended to come up with wins. In this series, we talked about the 22nd meeting. This is the longest active streak against any Tusculum opponent. And whenever the Pioneers, over the last 10 years, were able to come away with the win against Catawba, the Indians have rattled off 2 straight. That would be the case starting and not bucking the trend in any way, as Catawba would get some revenge after their 38-28 loss last year to these Tusculum Pioneers. They reel off a big 40-13 win against the Pioneers this season. Yes, it was homecoming. Catawba finished with 37 unanswered points as Tusculum would take the lead in this game, and they would win 40-13. They reeled off 462 offensive yards, while the defense forced 3 turnovers and recorded 5 sacks to spoil Tusculum's homecoming. The Catawba tailback duo of Kenyatta Green and Iman Smart had 146 and 107 yards rushing, and Patrick O'Brien, 19 of 29, 218 yards and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception for Catawba. The Pioneers watched their field goal kicker go 4 of 5 in field goals and finished with 20 points on the day. Pioneer offense was held to just 199 yards of offense, just 9 yards on the ground. The reigning conference offensive player of the week, Alex Ogle, tough day, 11 of 26, 190 yards. His 11th and 12th touchdown tosses came in this game, but they were few and far between. The start was promising when Tompkins intercepted a pass and the Pioneers led it 6-0, but that would basically be the final feel-good for the Pioneers, as Catawba would just flex their muscle and come away with a 40-13 devastating homecoming win against the Tusculum Pioneers at Pioneer Field. Pioneers will try to pick up the pieces, but it was homecoming, right? A lot of alumni came back. They had a chance to see some of their friends and get back into some of the alumni meetings, the alumni breakfast, and we had the Sports Hall of Fame, and how incredible was that? Getting a chance to see Eric Clarity, getting a chance to see his nephew Aaron Clarity, who played here. There's kind of joked about the pit of misery that they were talking about at Old Pioneer Field, when you had basically a shed built by the Mennonites that was your press box, transformed into this Taj Mahal of what Tusculum's Pioneer Field is today. He talked a little bit about that. We didn't really bring up the sinkhole that was in there, the pit of misery. I always wondered, back in the 1930s and 1940s when they played football here, because football was different back then, if the old Pioneer team used to just gnaw off legs and arms and throw it into that pit of misery, and that's why it got its name that way. I actually played here when there was that big sinkhole. We lost several soccer balls, as a matter of fact. I don't even know if you could ever see the end of it. It was an abyss, and it was terrifying. But all that's gone, and Eric Clarity had a chance to bring that back up into the Hall of Fame, and that was great. And then we had 2 basketball players, Kyle Moore, along with Jasmine Gunn. Very emotional for me because I had a chance to see them through their basketball careers. And I promise you, when we won, I was as excited as anybody. And when we lost, I hurt just like they did. And I went through that whole range of emotion with those players and seeing them back on campus with their family. And a lot of the guys that they brought with them, Brittany Oliver and Nikki Van Dyne and Kendall Baxter and Jasmine Parker. Peanut was back as well to watch Jasmine Gunn get inducted. And then for Kyle Moore, the Troutmans were here. Ryan and Rob and Josh Ellis. Always great to see some of those, the support staff that everybody brings for homecoming at Tusculum College. That's what it was really all about. Yeah, we stunk up the football game, and I'll give us that. But everything else surrounding the day, the festivities, was fantastic. it was good to see as many alumni back on campus that we had a chance to see. We hope that you'll always come back, despite what we just saw this past Saturday. I've got to sit next to Ogre. I got to sit next to Bill Belichick. Let's get ready to happen. Jerry Odom's going to come in here. We're going to talk football. He's not going to want to do that. But I want you to come back and listen because he'll have some good things to say about it when we return with more of the Jerry Odom Show.
Your Greenville Light and Power System, an electrical distributor of TVA, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Your Greenville Light and Power is dedicated to excellence in service and reliability. Visit online at glps.net.
We welcome you back into the Jerry Odom Show. The Tusculum Pioneers fall to Catawba this past Saturday in homecoming in one of the more thrilling series in the South Atlantic Conference for the Pioneers and the Catawba Indians, and the longest rivalry between a team in the South Atlantic Conference for the Pioneers until this week. Tusculum and Catawba meeting for the 22nd time. Joined by Pioneer coach Jerry Odom, whose Pioneers fall, and you said it earlier this week, and I think it stuck with me. It resonated all week. We're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. Last year it was a 10-point win at Catawba. They had a pretty decent plan. I think Coach Walker was ready for you guys this year. And we had a bunch of things that happened to us that just haven't ever happened in your tenure.
It was awful. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. We as coaches, as players, managers, student trainers, I don't care. Everybody's got to do better than what we did on Saturday. Yeah, we did. We had turnovers that hadn't happened. We had snaps over our head. We gave up deep balls when we knew they were coming off of the scouting report and everything we worked on. You know, that's the thing. Kirsten, to give them all the credit in the world, they played great and they beat us. They beat us handily. But they didn't do one thing I wasn't ready for. That's the thing that bothers me the most is that we came out here and just laid an egg, and we knew that things were coming. I think you and I had talked about many of the things that were going to happen during the game, and these are things that we work on every day. We test, we go over, and to go out there and play not only with not intelligence, but then just keep hurting ourselves. We had more self-inflicted wounds, than a bad guy with a gun or something. That's awful. I don't know any other way to say it. It was terrible. It's frustrating.
It was a game, too, our offense, where we had done well. And I know it's a very good defense, and Catawba is. Some of it was just an effort, I think, attitude. We were changing some guys up in the offensive line. I think credit their defense. They brought a lot of pressure. They're good, and I know that Kitchens, we did a good job against him, I thought, but it opened up things for Peppers and also for Evans, and they were able to do some things behind the line.
No doubt about it. I mean, they we're beat up in the O-line. We're playing guys that started off being second and third team guys that are playing for us right now and having to. We don't moan and groan about it around here. We just say next man up, and we keep on keeping on. But sometimes that's harder to do than say. Give them all the credit. They came out after we moved the ball very well. Should have scored 2 touchdowns early on, obviously with a drop and a little bit of a low throw. They started going cover 0 and just started bringing the heat, and we just couldn't get open, and we couldn't protect because they're bringing more people sometimes than we could protect, and then we get beat, and all kind of fun things. But Curtis is the only guy that had fun, I promise you, that day. There's very few times that I think, like, they ran that draw, and I'm like, okay, we got the Mike, we got the Sam, and the Free over there. We should be good. And we missed 3 tackles. The guy goes 78 yards to make him look like Adrian Peterson. And he's a good little back, but come on. And I'm looking at my sheet. I'm watching the guy run down the side. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, really, that's how I felt the entire second quarter on almost, and it was frustrating for me, but it's frustrating for the kids too. But they understand, the only people that can do it, make it anything different is us, and we didn't do it, and that's really what it comes down to. And the buck has to stop somewhere, so it's going to stop with me. I got to do a better job coaching them up and getting them ready to play.
Let's take a look at the game itself, Tusculum versus Catawba, and some of these highlights. in this contest. It's a Pioneer football team that goes in at homecoming. You can take a look at the overall record. Since 1936, 14-20 in homecoming. Since 2000, Tusculum 11-6 in the games. It'll be the third time that the Pioneers has hosted Catawba for homecoming, 2004 and 2011. It's a Pioneer football team that, really for this team at home coming back during homecoming, we're celebrating the induction of the Sports Hall of Fame for one of the Pioneers, and it's good to see Eric Clarity back on campus. Good to see him being inducted into that. Then 2 basketball players as well, and a lot of alumni, good crowd on hand. Coach Odom going through some of his deep thoughts, and really for us, opening up this game defensively, for us to get a 3 and out, I thought that was key. I felt like that was a key to the game.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is I think we had a good plan. I really do. They did the things we expected them to do out of the formations that they expected them to do. We just didn't play. I mean, there's times we just didn't play, and when you don't play, that's what's going to happen. There's no other way to say it. I mean, like you said, we came out 3 and out. Did a good job on this, handled it, and got them to 4th down, made them punt. Thought the offense came out, moved the ball pretty good. We started out like a house of fire. And then after that, it went bad in a hurry.
Let's say Catawba, after the Pioneers did have to punt, and Iman Smart, one of the top backs in the league, he did end up going over 100 yards, just broke a couple. Goes for 2, give it to him again. But again, I felt like O'Brien, their quarterback, with some of the best numbers in the South Atlantic Conference, really kind of second-guessed himself, especially through about the first 3 drives.
Yeah, I thought we mixed up our coverages pretty good, had him a little bit confused in certain ways, and then we gave up a silly one on 3rd down, where we gave him a first. But right here, we changed up the coverage, and Martez does a great job stepping in front of it. And let me tell you something, Martez has played really good all year for us. There ain't no doubt about it. I'm very happy with him. He's a good guy, and he's worked very, very hard.
Right. This is Martez for him. 8th career interception, 4th most in program history. It sets up the Pioneers in good position, and immediately you go on the attack looking for Altizer.
Yeah, we thought like we could take a shot right here, get good protection. Like I said, they bring 4 off of it. We felt like we could get him with a double move. We did. He was beat pretty soundly, and we attacked right off the bat and ended up getting a touchdown right off the bat. And I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna be in pretty good shape right here.
Evan Altizer getting into the end zone in the game. He gets over 60 all-purpose yards, which gives him over 2,000 all-purpose yards in his career, just setting that personal milestone for him as he comes up with his 3rd touchdown reception in as many weeks. So the Pioneers go up 6-0, and one of the plays I didn't put in there was the fact that we went for 2, and I don't think that was the right decision to be made there. And here, a 3rd down and 15, goes for 23 in a formation that I knew was going across the middle of the field.
Yep.
And then the touchdown over the top.
Yeah, it was bad. When they put 4 and 1 on the same side, you're going to get combination routes, or he's going to go deep, and the other guy's going to run a quick out, and that's what they ran.
Pioneers down 7-6 after the extra point, and then really good play here. I think just a little bit behind Keandre Banks, kind of hoping that he would have caught that and scored.
Well, I think he would have. Alex got hit, so he couldn't finish the throw, or we had it. We had an isolation on the mic right there, and right here, Alex probably should have thrown it to both Eric Lynch and Brooklander were both running down the field wide open, and I don't know why he didn't get off the second read right there, but he's got to go 1 to 2 and be able to see that.
For the Pioneers, they face 2nd down. Jordan Shippey has come in at this time, and Shippey, who the running game non-existent for the Pioneers on the day, did a good job there, just 9 yards. This is kind of the play to me that kind of set the day, I believe.
Yeah, it did. He probably needs to set his feet and really get it out there to him because it's a little bit low, but it's still catchable, and then we missed the field goal. So it's, now this started the comedy of errors.
Right, and that's basically what we're going to see. I really kind of hate to put it up. Catawba's going to come out here. I still think we did a pretty good job against them. This was one of the first comedy of errors. They ruled this a completion.
Yeah.
And then Lakeith picks it up, and as for the Pioneers, we get this break because then O'Brien comes over and puts a late hit. So eventually they talk about this play and say, no, he never did catch it, but there's the personal foul, so you give him 15 more yards, and it really felt like this was an opportunity for us.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I'm like, I asked the guy upstairs, that didn't look like a catch, but we'll take it. And then they called it, and so then we just basically played eight,
Right.
dropped everybody and made them throw it in front of us. So we get the ball. We think, hey, we're gonna get the ball back, have pretty good field position.
You did get good field position, but the comedy of errors happen after they do stop you. And I think if Hunter looks up, he realizes he has time.
I'm standing right down there yelling, "You have time, just pick it up," and he didn't hear me.
They kick a field goal on this. You actually hold them
Yeah.
to a field goal attempt.
Well, that was
good.
We had that turnover, and we had another turnover right back to back. I think right here, where we knock it out of our own guy's hand right there, basically because we get knocked back, and we hold them to 2 field goals.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, great job. We're only 7 down. We're 7 points down, still in the game, and I thought we were going to keep playing. Because right here, you get the ball at the 8-yard line and they go backwards. So we do a great job, on it, even though we did bust one assignment there. But I'm happy at this point. I'm like, this is a good job right here.
Before this play, Osinski gets into the end zone for Catawba. Of course, he was down short about that, the 3-yard line, but they ruled it a touchdown. And then just not protecting the ball.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Alex, he's a great kid, and he's played awful tough for us and done a great job, but he's got to protect the ball better than that. So, we're right back. I think we got tired a little bit on defense. We played so much in the second quarter, but right here, Jay Boyd's got to play this. The backer's got to scrape. I don't know what we're doing. It's like we just went haywire for a while, and I don't understand. I wish I had a better. I don't know. I wish I had a better explanation.
There's not much. The team that scored 37 unanswered, which is what Catawba was able to do. And just crazy stuff. Plays just like that. Some drop passes, just not enough time. And so the sacks, Alex again was hit. So we have moved it now to the fourth quarter on this touchdown drive for the Pioneers. And Tommy Brown on 3rd down and 23 picks up 21 hits.
But he should have scored. He tackled himself. He fell down. We ended up going for the fourth and getting the fourth, barely getting movement there, and we get the first. But just wasn't a very good day, man.
Right. It was for Maxwell Joseph, again, one of those tough days for this running team. We talked a little bit of this running game for the Pioneers, just with 9 yards. Maxwell Joseph comes back with that 4th down pickup. And again, just kind of minimal. Tommy Brown has to come in. I believe Maxwell at this point has already been a little bit banged up.
That is correct.
To this point. So he's got to look that way. Looking downfield, a guy that I was hoping to see a little bit more of this year, but I don't think has emerged and developed just yet, is Shamar Bridges.
Yeah.
But you get him in there late and create some opportunities.
Yeah, he keeps on working. He's young and has to keep staying in the weight room and all that good stuff.
Right.
But he's a great kid, and he'll end up playing a lot here before it's all said and done.
Turn around and they tug on his jersey, and then Evan Gates. So he'll make a play a game. I just like to see him be more consistent in making those plays.
Well, all he can do is run the route. The progression's got to be there. You know what I mean? Right. A lot of times it depends on everything else. And finally get a play here. Nice job right there by Rodnell going to get the ball. We need more of this. We do. We need more of this. And we need, more guys to go up and make plays and stuff. And that'll certainly help us moving forward.
And that's high pointing the ball.
That's how you do it.
Right, and that's kind of what Coach Ferguson has talked about. We just need guys that go up and get it. So often we let it come to our chest. Again, not the banner day. 11 of 26 for Alex Ogle, just 190, held to just 199 yards of offense. Receiving-wise, Gates and Cruel each with 3 catches, but not the big plays. We had Banks that had the explosion play a bit early. Altizer very early, and then Gates there in that touchdown drive that we saw. It shows you what happens when we do have those explosion plays. We're pretty good, pretty successful when we get them. Catawba did not allow that happen. The Pioneers fall to the Catawba Indians, and when we come back with more of the Jerry Odom Show, we'll meet some of our impact players, and we'll also finish up by talking about that great rivalry, Carson Mooney. That's when the Jerry Odom Show continues after this.
Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Premier Transportation. From the moment you step onto any of the motor coaches, it's clear they pay attention to details. They make sure you have the top-of-the-line amenities. the industry's most innovative technology, and the most advanced safety features to ensure every mile of your journey is a smooth one from coast to coast. The Premier Fleet. Escape the ordinary. The journey is half the fun. Premier Transportation, the official bus provider for Tusculum College Athletics.
Welcome back into the Jerry Odom Show, where the Pioneers fall to Catawba by a final score of 40-13. I have some of our impact players, and really it's more of an impact on the record books at Tusculum College. Just two of those guys making that list for this week. And we'll start with a senior defensive back. It's Martez Tompkins. We talk so much in the year about these young players, but it's seniors, the next two we're going to talk about, that usually come up and make that impact play. Tompkins, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia, out of Booker T. Washington, finished the game with 7 tackles and an interception. For his career, 91 tackles, 4 of those for loss, 2 fumble recoveries, and 8 interceptions, including 18 pass breakups. Tompkins' 8 career interceptions are the 4th most in program history as he continued to rise up the rankings. It's going to be very difficult for him to catch Ricardo Coakley. Our other impact player making an impact on the record books is Evan Altizer, another senior out of Weddington, North Carolina from Weddington High School. Did have just 1 catch for 36 yards in the game. It did go for a score. On the year, 23 receptions, 422 yards and 4 touchdowns. And for his career, 65 receptions, 1,337 yards and 10 touchdowns. But it's his all-purpose yardage. Becomes and joins a very elite group to go over 2,000 all-purpose yards. 5 of those rushing, 1,337 receiving, and 667 of those yards in 40 games are from punt returns, for now 2,018 all-purpose yards for Evan Altizer. Take a look at some of our numbers in the contest, and they are all very heavily favored in for Catawba. 18 first downs to Tusculum's 11. Rushing yards, Catawba runs for 244, Tusculum 9. Rushing attempts, 38-28. So Tusculum just couldn't get the ground game going. Sacks and the bad punt factoring into those rushing yards. Passing, O'Brien didn't have to go for the big number like he did last week. 19 of 29, 2 scores and an interception, 218 yards. Alex Ogle was 11 of 26, just 190 with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions on the day. Total offense, 67, 462 for Catawba, 54, 199 for the Pioneers. Something we also don't see very often. Tusculum dominated in the time of possession. 10 minutes for Catawba in the 4th quarter alone, 4.5 minutes for the Pioneers, 9 minutes in the 1st quarter for Catawba, 5:52 for the Pioneers, 35-49 Catawba, 24-11 in the time of possession. Punting-wise, another good day for Cantrell, 41.7 yard average with 6 punts on the day and 3 more inside of the 20. Tusculum, just 1 of 12 on 3rd down. Catawba finishing 5 of 15 on 3rd down in the day. And Tusculum into the red zone just once. They were able to come away with the score. Pioneers fall to Catawba 40-13, and we turn the page. When we come back, we'll chat with Jerry Odom about the great rivalry, the Battle of US 11E, Tusculum and Carson Newman. That's when the Jerry Odom Show continues after this.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County.
We welcome you back into the Jerry Odom Show. The Tusculum Pioneers and the Carson Newman Eagles coming up this Saturday. Mossy Creek, Berktar Stadium. We don't have a whole lot of good memories there. As a matter of fact, I think in the history of Southland Conference play, the closest game has been 7. Maybe a 35-28 game. Ooh. Outside of that, Coach, it's not always been good. Plus, the Eagles are coming off a tough loss to a North Greenville team that kind of put it to them a little bit. And I believe they're down there in Mossy Creek land. They were a little bit embarrassed by it. We're embarrassed, but we're going in to take on a great rival. And usually you say we got to have some wins. Well, you got that last year on a 2-point conversion. Carson Newman team, not a whole lot different. They're going to run the same things. The big void is Ken Sparks isn't there, obviously. But, man, his spirit is, because a lot of the coaches are still there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're doing the same thing. I mean, and their head guy's a great guy. He's a super person. He's been part of the program forever. Ton of respect for those guys. They work awful hard. And they're playing good football right now. You know, North Greenville did do a nice job against them, but you know, they're a good football team. Right. We know that ourselves. You know, I mean, we had a very close game with them ourselves and didn't come up on top. So you know, it's going to be, you know, a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've never been out west before. You know, I've never visited the team out west, so I'm looking forward to visiting them and watch that beautiful. You know, they have a beautiful stadium facility, and you know, getting. You know, looking forward to getting to see that, and you know, I think the challenge is awesome. You know, you look at it, and you always want to do what's never been done. You know, that's my attitude. That's what I told the guys. I said, you know, we kind of knocked ourselves out of the sack race a little bit this past week. That's our own fault. You know, nobody can blame that but us. But we still have a lot to play for. You know, have a chance to beat Carson Newman. You know, hopefully. For the second time, or 2 times in a row. I don't think that's been done either. Hadn't one out there. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. And then you got senior day against Wingate. So we got a lot to play for. Hopefully some winning records in that mix. That's what we got to work for too, obviously. And I'm looking forward to teeing it up against, you know, the boys from Mossy Creek and enjoy, you know, go out there and compete, man, because – you know, they're going to do what they do, and we've got to, you know, do a good job. And obviously, with the option, you got to take away the dive and the you know, the quarterback and the pitch. But I tell you what, it's complementary plays. If you go back and look at us, got us last year. Quarterback throwback, screen got us one time on it. They threw a deep ball on it. I mean, just things like that. And they're throwing the deep ball very, very well. So we got to be really good with that. I think they're doing a lot more 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends. Really 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, 1 wide receiver, because they like their tight ends. And they're giving you a lot of different formations, which is good. So it's going to be very important to make sure we're sound with our numbers. You know, we understand what we're trying to get accomplished, and we play with a sense of urgency, because they're going to go fast. You know, they have tempo in you and stuff. I think we struggled with that early in the game last year, and then we kind of settled in pretty good. But you know, my dad's been an option coach for 30 years. I've been around this stuff. You know, I've got a pretty good idea what they're going to do. So now it's just getting my kids to understand what they're going to do and really buy into the plan over the next week. It's going to be a beautiful day out there. It's supposed to be 71 degrees and sunny from what I understand, and I am looking forward to it.
He's already checked into it, so holding to that as well.
Yeah, I'm not a weatherman, people.
Right. All right, so if you're in the Knoxville area, you can check it out. One of the local TV stations is going to have the game on TV. So your radio crew is
I have a face made for radio, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But we saw that.
Yes, yeah, we saw that earlier.
The Bill Belichick of Division II, take it out down there. Well, we're going to be in the muck this year. We're not going to be in our own little booth. So you may hear a lot of things that happen during our radio broadcast. Just want you to be aware that we're in with the newspapers and we're in with the personnel for Carson Newman. So we're kind of getting thrown out of our room so that we can make way for TV to come once in a blue moon to
goodness gracious.
So, yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope that you guys look forward to that.
I could tell.
This Saturday. Don't forget, blood drive is going on all week long, so if you have a chance as you're watching this maybe online, you can go down to your local regional medic blood center. Get involved in the Pioneer Mossy Creek Blood Drive Bowl this week that's going on. Tusculum has been successful with that, and that's for obviously a great cause. Also for a great cause is winning the football game.
Yes.
And we're going to try to do that.
Winning the blood drive is awesome, and I think we've been very, very good at that. We even put something out on that I saw today, which is outstanding, but we'd like to win the game also if we can.
In Mossy Creek.
Yes.
So join us. Don't forget the start time. It will be 12 o'clock on the Pioneer Sports Network. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock in Mossy Creek, Jefferson City at Bergtar Stadium, and looking for a great game as well. For all those involved with Pioneer Sports Network, we thank those getting the footage, Nick Forsberg, also for Nathan Humbert, for this guy, Jerry Odom. I'm Brian Stayton. And until next week, go Pioneers.
This has been The Jerry Odom Show. The Jerry Odom Show is brought to you in part by Your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1947. Sodexo, proud food supplier of Tusculum College. By Creekside Markets, stop in and pick up a Hunt Brothers pizza today. By Premier Transportation, the official bus provider for Tusculum College Athletics. And brought to you in part by Comcast. Join us next time for more Pioneer football on the Jerry Odom Show.